Exodus chapter 2, verse 11 through 25. One day, when Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and looked on their burdens. And he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his people. He looked this way and that, and seeing no one, he struck down the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. When he went out the next day, behold, two Hebrews were struggling together. And he said to the man in the wrong, "Why do you strike your companion?" He answered, "Who made you a prince and a judge over us? Do you mean to kill me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses was afraid and thought, "Surely the thing is known." When Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and stayed in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priests of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. The shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and saved them, and watered their flock. When they came home to their father Reuel, he said, "How is it that you have come home so soon today?" They said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and even drew water for us, and watered the flock." He said to his daughters, "Then where is he? Why have you left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread." And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses his daughter Zipporah. She gave birth to a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, "I've been a sojourner in a foreign land." During those many days, the king of Egypt died, and the people of Israel groaned because of their slavery and cried out for help. Their cry for rescue from slavery came up to God, and God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. God saw the people of Israel, and God knew. Rescued from the waters and raised as a prince of Egypt, Moses had felt that he was someone special. But he didn't realize who made Moses special and sought to do things his own way. He tried to help a fellow Israelite in trouble, but ended up killing the Egyptian soldier and running for his life. Moses was at the lowest point in his life as he ran away to Midian. This was his wilderness period, which lasted for 40 years. Here, Moses was to learn from God, and God was going to prepare Moses to deliver the Israelites from Egypt. Moses must have felt alone and lonely, but God had never left Moses without help. God was with Moses, and even at the lowest point of his life, God provided for him a family. The way Moses met his wife is akin to how Jacob met Rachel. Genesis chapter 29 verse 10 says, "Now as soon as Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, Jacob came near and rolled a stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother." God was with Jacob, even though Jacob had sinned and ran away from home. God was with Moses, even though he had sinned and ran away from his people. God is with us as well. Even though we have committed sin and have come to a place of wilderness in our lives, God is with us. Deuteronomy chapter 31 verse 6 says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you." As we have become His children through Jesus Christ, God will never leave us nor forsake us. He is always with us and knows all that we need. The Israelites were crying out to God for deliverance, and God heard their cries. Even before the Israelites cried out, God was working to fulfill His plan for salvation. God was preparing His chosen instrument, Moses. Our lives are just the same. God is working in our lives to bring the gospel to those who are crying out, desperate for deliverance from the darkness of this world. As we meditate upon today's scripture, may we entrust our lives to God and trust that He is working to fulfill His will.